For years, the fans have been begging for a joint Judas Priest and Iron Maiden tour. And of course, last year we got rather close to it, as both of those bands appeared at a massive Power Trip festival in California. Yet, in all fairness, there is a very high chance that at this stage, such a tour would only remain possible in our dreams, purely because of the size and weight of both of those bands. But that doesn't mean that we cannot get the next best thing. In 2000, Rob Halford released the album Resurrection, which for the record I still consider to be the best solo album by any musician of those legendary heavy metal bands ever released, which there were many of. And of course, one of the highlights for all heavy metal fans on that record was the song The One You Love to Hate, featuring nobody else but Bruce Dickinson, and co-written together with Roy Z, who of course worked with both of those singers throughout their solo careers. By the way, this song was most likely originally supposed to appear on the Three Tremors project, which originally was meant to be an ultimate heavy metal album to rule them all, with Rob Halford, Bruce Dickinson, and Ronnie James Dio joining the forces. Yet of course later there was an idea to rename it as Trinity, invite Jeff Tate instead of Dio, and there were even talks about a joint tour already, although unfortunately that project never saw the light of day. But nevertheless, according to Bruce Dickinson, during the creative process surrounding the project, which was around the time of the recording sessions for Resurrection, Roy Z and the boys still did manage to write around 3 songs for it. One of which, by the way, and namely Shadow of the Gods, will finally be released 24 years later in just a couple of weeks on Bruce Dickinson's 7th studio album, The Mandrake Project. And also, by the way guys, I've been meaning to release a special episode about the Three Tremors or the Trinity project for quite some time now, including discussing some of the inconsistencies told by the guys throughout the year. So if you think that such episode would be of interest for you, please let me know in the comments. And also I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to this channel. Let's continue building this amazing heavy metal community together.
We're gonna have a good time. Always.
But anyways, going back to The One You Love to Hate. Roy Z originally wrote the main riff and the melody for the track back when he was actually considered for a role of a guitarist for Rob's first proper solo album. As just in case you don't know, even though he actually did play some of the guitar parts on the album, he wasn't really a member of Halford band at that time yet. Although of course Roy produced and co-wrote most of the songs on Resurrection. But nevertheless, given he worked simultaneously with the prodigal sons of both Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, he also showed the track to Bruce, I assume as a possible addition to the Three Tremors, or to a follow-up to Bruce's album The Chemical Wedding. And the Iron Maiden singer, who back then had just announced his return to Iron Maiden, absolutely loved it. And given the fact that by then both Rob Halford and Bruce Dickinson did know already that they will go on a joint tour in support of Iron Maiden's Brave New World and Halford's Resurrection, it was simply a no-brainer to include such a powerful track on Rob's first solo album, which of course added a lot of hype for the upcoming tour among all American fans. Yet despite Halford's support and Maiden all throughout the United States and beyond, with 44 shows played together that and next year's, including their legendary appearance at Rock in Rio in 2001, The One You Love to Hate, despite its enormous success, has only been performed live twice. Ever. For the first time on November 23rd in Milan, and later on December 6th in London, when Rob Halford has prepared something very special for his fans. As for The One You Love to Hate, he was joined on stage by nobody else but the other 2 Tremors, Jeff Tate and Bruce Dickinson. By the way guys, one of the top comments under that video on YouTube is, how did that stage not collapse under the weight of so much metal? And yeah, so here I just wanted to say that A, this actually might be the sturdiest stage ever produced. B, This is exactly why you couldn't invite Dio to join Rob and Bruce on stage and see. Well, this sadly might actually be the reason why we'll never see Judas Priest and Iron Maiden join tour.
It cannot be.
But anyways, the official live version of the song is also available on Halford's Live Insurrection, which by the way is a great and a very overlooked live album. And the most interesting thing is that I also happen to own several bootleg recordings from that London show in 2000, which actually show that despite most of that version being indeed taken from the December 6th show, it most likely actually is a combination of a real live performance and a sound check or a studio version, kinda similar to what we can hear on Unleashed in the East. But I guess that doesn't actually matter, because it still is a great rendition of an amazing track, which sadly also became the last live rendition of The One You Love to Hate.
I can break you, I can raise you.
And so now, almost 24 years later, there is actually a chance that we might get to hear this masterpiece live once again. This year, Judas Priest and Bruce Dickinson will actually perform on the same festivals on several occasions. For example, at the Sweden Rock Festival or Release Athens in Greece. And since such an occasion is indeed a very rare one, and namely nothing like that actually happened for more than 20 years already, many fans did immediately think that this would be a perfect occasion for the legendary Judas Priest and Iron Maiden vocalists to finally reunite on stage and perform the song which has become so beloved by gazillion heavy metal fans around the world live together. And no, seriously, if you did think that you were the only one who immediately thought about that when you saw the announcements, in his latest interview to Rock Hard Greece, Bruce Dickinson did actually say that since his live tour has been announced, this actually has been one of the most frequent requests from the fans and the media. And by the way, I have no idea why, but this interview actually suddenly became unavailable on YouTube just several hours after it was posted. I really wonder why it is so, but just FYI, this is exactly why I can't really give credit to it here.
Why?
But anyway, in this interview, in addition to apologizing to the Greek audience for the infamous flare incident, which I'm sure you all are aware of,
What did I say? With a flare over the singer, man.
Bruce Dickinson also said that he and Roy Z specifically spoke about a possibility of performing The One You Love to Hate with Rob in Greece, stating that he would definitely be up for it. Although it would all depend on if Rob would be able to do it and if Judas Priest wouldn't be against it. Since unlike in 2000, this time around he will be there not alone, but with metal gods themselves. But the most important thing is that according to Bruce, the possibility is there. And if it will happen, he thinks it will be absolutely great and a lot of fun for everyone. And the truth is that I would absolutely love to see this song, which actually has become one of my favorite from both of the singers' solo careers, being performed live on stage by both of them. Although it does look like, unfortunately, it is not most likely possible this year once again because of some mad dictator's ambitions and his army of orcs. But nevertheless, if you think about it, this actually might be the perfect time to do so for them, since this summer will mark the very first time that Bruce Dickinson's and Rob Halford's schedules intertwine, with at least one of them not being on tour with his major act. And last time something like that actually happened was more than 20 years ago. And of course, given the fact that Judas Priest are the main headliners for most of those festivals, and it would actually require quite a lot of messing up of their setlist, which I don't think that their management would go for. But if we do talk about Release Athens, for example, we can see that both Judas Priest and Bruce Dickinson will perform on the same day. And since Bruce's band will also feature nobody else but Roy Z, who actually co-wrote that song together with the boys, I don't actually see why this may not be possible. But I guess we will find out very, very soon. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we will prevail. Slava Ukraini!